me on Twitter, so
Yes.
you can all direct message me. If you want to receive a physical copy, you three, so Fraser, Leah, and Kevin, I will send you a copy, this copy, because the next one's not out until January. I'll send you this hot copy. I will post it out to your address. Fraser, I want you to see that this is not just something you can just put together with, oh, brilliant, romantic, let's do a magazine. Leah, I think you'll find the content in this magazine up your street and something that you may wish to contribute to in the future. And Kevin, it just shows you that I really am serious, apart from when I'm in my pajamas and being a twat on Twitter, on Blab. If you really want, I mean, this one isn't online yet, so you cannot see this one. Leah, you can go to issue.com and look for Kent Women in Business magazine. You'll find the latest one. It's, you know, this Starting Up Your Own magazine is a lovely, lovely title, but it's a romantic title. It's not as easy as you, and Fraser, you've talked about your A5 things. Yeah, they're easy. You can staple and have a great time, and they're lovely and they're full of adverts and stuff like that. When you get something like this, that your readers then email you because they touch you, you touch them. When you get the, we've only got 1,000 and something likes on our Facebook page, but engagement insights are huge on it because there's value to it. It's not about the quantity, it really is about the quality. However, with online reach, this is now going all over the world because the content is not newsworthy. It's not like about an issue that happened yesterday. They're generic issues. So we can keep that content alive. And that's something you really need to consider. I think you need to consider, because I'm in a position now where I'm considering, do I stay as editor of a magazine? Do I stop? Do I just go online? You know, I've had an amazing career in the last 3 years out of this magazine. But starting up your own magazine, which is the title of this blab, which I'm bringing back to, when I said those words, people thought I was freaking crazy. 3 years later, I'm still here, and people still think I'm crazy. But, you know, it's not a flippant conversation. It's actually quite a poignant, powerful blab you've done.
Right.
And I've just got your address. Thank you, Leah. I will send you one.
Yeah. I just think the magazine is going to take over your collective, and your heart is really with the group and the information and the awareness.
I think, having something, whether it's a newsletter or a magazine, whatever it is, if it is a magazine or so, whatever we go down. But we're not just going to be building up the projects we're doing, but it's to also do like events and all sorts of stuff and do new stuff going forward, which will a lot of the stuff all kind of complement each other in a way, because it's a good thing. So it's this it's working with people who want to succeed. And I think we've all got valid. And I think it's just because I've been in business doing cleaning for nearly 7, 8 years now. And it's certainly, it peaks and troughs. It's my bread and butter. But I'm thinking, what can I plan for the future to do something differently? Because if cleaning kind of eventually dries up, or it starts to sort of, well, okay, I'm not making much money anymore.
Fraser, maybe, sorry to cut across you, but if you were looking at a magazine as a business proposition, as a product that was profitable, then, you know, maybe you would increasingly look to Hillary for advice, expertise, and some sort of decision as to whether it's viable for you and your group. But if you're looking for a megaphone somewhere to get your message out, I think that's a different thing in terms of there are so many other ways that have less overhead, less risk that you could use. You're already doing your podcast. You could have a very successful podcast, interview-based podcast that's video and or audio. You could use, as Leah said, use YouTube, use Facebook, you know, use your own website.
Absolutely, there's cheaper ways to do it.
True. I think we need to, I suppose we just got to see what we can, well, I think what I'll do is I'll send you my address. I appreciate that. Thank you, Hillary. And we can maybe have a meeting. We can all sit down and look at your magazine and see what's going on.
No, we can't.
No,
we can't, because you need, before you come to someone like me and have a discussion like that, you've got to have a clear plan. And the first thing I'm going to do is put you off a physical magazine, right? I'm going to put you onto your online community where you have engagement. I'm going to be the first person that's going to say to you, no fucking way, magazine.
Right, okay. I see your point. Okay. Right, I see your, right, I see your point.
What was that, Leah?
I was encouraging that the collective is the real thing, getting these people together and working with them and making that club work and get content out and awareness out to everyone. And then you can have something physical. I don't know if you're trying to do the physical to sell it, or that you think you have to have something physical to spread the awareness, or if that's your financial gain plan. What is why does the magazine mean so much to you?
Partly because if you were to offer, okay, whether we have we could do another, okay, there's directories that go around Edinburgh locally, in local areas. Okay, there's businesses that advertise in them. They've been going for a long time, but they're not cheap for businesses. Maybe to bring in some revenue, so we are bringing in a little bit of revenue to start off things. But I know it may be the different direction for a magazine that going down a different direction to what Hillary does, but it may be in time we can eventually revert to what Hillary does, kind of what Hillary does in a sense, but it's to bring in some revenue to start things off into how we're developing. But but we've got to sit down and talk about it. It's not just about just saying we'll do this, but it may not be the magazine may not be the best idea.
It's not. You need 3 years budget to make a magazine work, Fraser. You have so much more that you can reach target audience without setting up a magazine. And this is from the editor of a magazine that's profitable.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I have no problem with people setting up magazines if they want to be competition. I have no issue with that. But I would really like to stop you from making a mistake when you have other platforms that are going to reach your audience in a much more concise way. And Leah's nodding there because she knows I'm talking sense.
Yeah.
And the steps you do before the magazine that she's trying to get you to will make your magazine much more grounded. And if you find in a couple of years you want to get back to that, and it's going to give your magazine validity when you have an online presence and people know the name already. No one's going to pay to be in your magazine if they haven't heard of your magazine, or if it hasn't had accumulated its name yet. So to use the magazine to get the money to fund your club is, I think you could do it the other way around. The club.
She's got it. Leah's, no, you've got it. To use a magazine to raise money at this stage isn't going to work. The magazine is only going to drain any resources financially you have at this stage.
And it's so regulated as well. There's big people above you that you have to pay to and be regulated under and distributed and edited and stuff.
Okay.
Can I just give him, Leah, let me just give Razor, because we've just crushed a little dream there, but what he can do...
No, his dream is amazing. I'm excited.
Hold on. What I can do is say to him, Fraser, you know, and I know quite well, an editor of a magazine who will be able to feature you online, offline, with what you're doing. If you go more out of Scotland and it becomes a national, or even if it's just Scotland, I can still help you online. I will help you, but I can't help you set up a magazine that's going to lose you loads of money.
Okay, I see your point. Cool.
But you've got my help, 100%, whatever you do.
Okay.
I'll help you too with the social media and stuff and getting out there and feeling like that. I kind of look at Instagram like a magazine. So maybe that could be your first magazine and we could work on that one first and see how you feel about it. If you still are warm and fuzzy about it after a while, you do the print magazine.
The other, Fraser, if it's all social enterprise, is it? Or is there going to be a profit private business in here somewhere?
I think the aim is we're working probably a bit of both in some way or form. A bit of profit, some make some money, but also the aim is to some of the profits will go towards the projects which are charities, if you know what I mean.
Right, but I mean, you can run any business, if you, even in not-for-profit, you want to make a margin on it, so you can reinvest in the organisation, and it's just that you're not taking it as personal profit and personal gain.
Yeah, I think
make it efficient and make a margin on it for it to be.
I think if you do social enterprise, you're more subject to able to get funding, if you know what I mean.
Well, I was just thinking if you take your online presence. I mean, if each one of these projects comes with at least one person or maybe more. You know, collectively, one of the things that a lot of people are doing online now is pulling together into some form of network. Might be a collective of some kind because of a common purpose, but if you aggregate your social media presences sometimes, either maybe you can have like a WordPress multi-site. If the projects are similar enough, you can gather your social media strength into one place, and you can syndicate that content in different ways. So there's ways that you could pull your strengths. If some of your colleagues or your network have a stronger presence than you, and you contribute some of your podcasting expertise or whatever, together you could strategically actually shout louder than some of the parts online.
He's got a good point. He's got a very good point.
And once you get a nice following, people will still do the same thing. Like you wanted people to put their business in the magazines. I know you wanted local to Scotland, but you could build up to that. But people could still put, they still want their stuff to be seen by a lot of followers once you start to get your followers and your community and who likes you and who supports you. Once you get a nice number of followers, you can then start have people that you trust and put their businesses out there and let them be seen by your followers. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same thing. So you'll be getting people ready for it. So you'll be doing what you want to do with the magazine, getting ready for it, getting the foundation, getting in like a protocol. And then if you still want the magazine, at least you kind of know what's going to go into it, how it kind of works, how people feel about, things like that. I think it'll be a good experience to start online and then go to the magazine if you still in the end want to do it.
Great point. You're building up a community on here, Fraser. Yeah, I know we all heckle you by saying Fraser's coming on, don't eat on a blab, but you're building up a community. We've been talking for 60 days, which on blab is like a lifetime now. Yeah. You are building up a community, and maybe focus on building that community as opposed to just chucking out random. Not this one. This was not a random blab title, but maybe look at hosting blabs that fit what you're trying to build, as opposed to confusing us all a little bit from, I'm on a chat on this one, I'm on a chill out on this, and focus yourself and position yourself on blab as a person who is whatever it is.
Right. Okay.
And maybe, Fraser, I know everybody talks about it and it gets a bit frustrating about emails and email marketing, but in many ways that still is the backbone of a lot of people's strategy online, is to monetize their list. So maybe if you look at what your current email list strategy might be, or what you and your pals could come up with as a way of doing it, and agree that you could pull that list in various ways to, your magazine in an embryo would be a newsletter as such on, or a focused email where you could do some testing on how receptive the people are, your audience, to either support through funding or just to collaborate or participate in events or whatever. But you could use email marketing to test the temperature, and that way get some exposure to content management without having to publish it in hard print or take on the costs. Or
so your points are a lot cheaper. Obviously, well, technically cheaper, it'd be free almost. So.
Mm-hmm. And a little printed newsletter. If you just have to have something in your hand, people will pay to be in a little printed newsletter too, if you're getting the circulation around to enough people.
True.
And they do. People do. We get people asking. Sorry, we get people asking for our through our magazine database, which is county oriented. We get people saying, can we put on your newsletter, and they're prepared to pay £700-800 just to be on that newsletter, which takes me a link. So you can build up that kind of thing, because your list is quality, not quantity necessarily.
So you're saying,
I trust you and I know you. So, you get a good 100 people on that's to get in your list. I want to be in it. How much I want to be on it, because I want to be portrayed into whatever the people that you're giving your newsletter list to, just because I know you and trust you.
And so you believe in that quality, don't you, Leah?
I believe in him. Yeah.
And
so I mean, once
where you're sending out
there, I think $20 or something, $40 to advertise it.
Would you suggest having more? Obviously, Hillary's sort of got hers in reverse. There's more content in our magazine than what's online. Is that correct? Or is there more online? No.
I've got different lists for different things. Fraser, I've been an online marketer probably for about 15 years now, so I have different angles. But here I'm sitting here right now as magazine editor.
If I was to view one of your magazines online, is there more pages or on?
No, that's exactly the same.
There's no difference. Right? Okay. So technically, you could do
the online exposure for the magazine, Fraser, is very different.
Yes,
because we direct to different articles, to different stuff. So it's not just creating a PDF that gets uploaded and that you can flick across. There's a hell of a lot more to it than that.
So what's Leah is saying, you could have your online magazine, in a sense, online one, but have a small snippet of like a newsletter-ish to tell people where they can see the full magazine online, which is a lower cost.
Well, yes, but you need to build up your communication list so you can tease feed from a magazine that was 3 months, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. You can still feed that content through. What you need to build is connections with people on a list. You could have an email list of just 100 people. Yeah. 100 people interested in your content is priceless.
Yeah, a lot of people say give your best content at the start and give it free, and then try and maintain that standard as you go. So maybe that if you build a relationship, then you demonstrate the case for premium content. You can support it through.
But Kevin's is Fraser's is charity content, charity awareness. So it's much easier for him to build a list than it is for an online marketer, because yours is purely charity based. Correct?
Also,
well, there's technically 3 parts that are charities. One is actual to make money. It's the festival event. Make money from that.
Still charity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Charity. Yeah. Mainly charity. Pretty much.
As long
so
as
you've got an easier way in with a list than say someone selling, join my email list and I'll teach you 7 secrets to make $1 million online. It's completely different.
And
you have much better quality chance of building a quality list than someone that does that. So.
Yeah,
and someone with charity has a good way of edging in and even making Blab profitable, because I've been researching how to make Blab profitable with donate buttons and things like that, and having somebody come in and just say, if you like the content that you're hearing, help us, and this keeps us to be able to come on every week and go ahead and have a link to a donate button. If you're coming out and talking about charities, don't be shy at all. Say, here's the link to donate to this charity. And I have this thing where it's called, it's my URL. So it puts all my things in one place. So even if you feel bad about kind of having someone just a donate button, it's called my URLs. And what it will say is, I'm going to get the link right now. What it will say is like a little, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to come back to you guys. I got so many tabs open. Okay, so I will put this here. And then you take a look at it. I think it would be good for you doing what you're doing.
Sure.
Because then you can have, if you're shy and you don't want it to be like all about giving me money, you see my second line there. My second thing you can do is donate here.
Yes, I see that.
So that's what I'll put up, like when I'm giving out information and I want someone to maybe donate, and I'll just say, if you guys like the content or something, I think that would work great for you, especially that you have charities and you're trying to raise money for this festival, and take all of these different avenues that you have that you're trying to support and just talk about them on Blabs all the time. Recycle them. You have enough to just go down the list. Talk about that one, then talk about that one, then talk about that one, then talk about that one, and go right back up to that one. Talk about that one, talk about that one. Okay. And you do that all the time, over and over and over and over and over again. And then you have your following, and then you start charging people to be seen by you and taking donations. And then you may need that physical thing at that point to get that physical out there if you want. Yeah. and do your business. But you actually don't need that physical. Your EG Collective is the heart and soul of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it can
Sorry, Leah.
No. Go ahead, Kev.
Leah's got a really good point there. You know, it's you come onto a blab and you set up a subject, and yet there's so much more. And especially as yours is charity based, there are so many ways that you can monetize the blabs. I have to say, okay, Leah, excuse me, but Kevin and Fraser have met me on blabs a number of times. Have I ever sold anything?
No, your sound's gone a bit funny, Hillary.
Can you hear me now?
It cuts out when you sort of in between speak for some reason.
No, I don't think you've even recycled some jokes. I think you've been pretty.
No, and I have to tell you that in 67 days I've made $4,000 on Blab by doing nothing.
Wow.
And that's not for charity. So imagine I put that effort into charity when I haven't sold anything on Blabs, but it's come from follow-up stuff. And I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach, so whatever. Imagine when I put my mind to a charity raising thing, just by being me. Fraser, this is where you can monetize for a cause that's extremely important to you.
I think one of the point I was going to make, Hillary, that is just absolutely critical important, Fraser, that you separate out what is profitable in terms of private profit and what is charitable fundraising, because you're going to need a constitution to set up a proper charity. If you mix those up, you're going to prison. You know, it's a serious situation. If you start, you know, it's a serious.
I'll get no.
But what I'm saying is, on my podcast, I've got a donate button. Okay, so I could donate to the podcast and whatever. I'll need to declare anything that comes in on that as income, because it's income, right? So it's not charity in that sense. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to start up a charitable organisation, then you're going to have to run to a standard. And what I'd say to you is, you're walking into the most competitive environment in terms of raising cash. If you want to run a cancer charity, I'd say forget it, because we're talking. When I was working, we went charity for cancer. I had somewhere between, from memory, 15 and 30 full-time professional fundraisers, right through to director on best part $100,000 a year. We're spending something like £2 million to raise $3 million. So you're talking a huge competitive market, which has gone belly up in recent years because of the lottery, because of the recession and all these other demands on people's time, or money. So to fundraise is difficult at the best of times.
Well, boy, may not go down, whether we go down the charity route or this, we'll work out the best plan of which way we're going to be going down. But we're creating the EG Collective that's what we're going to take, like the umbrella part of it, and whatever, and everything else is kind of underneath. But we're just going to, it's kind of just piecing the jigsaw together bit by bit and kind of going, making it all fit together. That's the main thing, you know. And if we all come to say a magazine is the right way, or online or presence, as I say, start doing blabs and doing social media stuff. Hey, I mean, we're going to discuss that in January. That's the plan. But a good thing is I'm recording this latter part of this, which is good, it'll help. I'm going to show them this video, and they get an idea how we can go down which way to go down, which route I should say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to go because I have to go and sort out my mummy who is in hospital. So I'm really sorry. I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks, Hillary. Take it. Anybody else like to jump in and help? Feel free and jump in if you want.
Eric's your man. If you want to speak to Eric, he runs a foundation already, and I don't know whether you'd ever look at crowdfunding, but Eric knows all about that too. So
yeah, it's all good to get information. I'll get. It's just to get some good information. And what you say, Leah? Are you going to say something?
Oh. And he's always horizontal as well. So
Miller,
chilled out sort of guy.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hi, Eric.
Thanks.
Hello, Kevin.
Amazing.
Hello, Linda, up on the top. Hey, so I was listening to everything that you guys were talking about, and really good information. And boy, I'll tell you, the one thing that you had on here is some great experts to give you some really wise counsel. And, that's the best thing that you can get when you're starting any new enterprise. As far as starting a new nonprofit, I'm sure it's the same in the UK as it is in the United States. the best advice I got when I was starting our nonprofit was don't do it. The fact of the matter is, in today's world, finding money is so difficult for a nonprofit, and there's limited resources, and to be able to find those resources and compete against everybody else that's also trying to get those resources is very difficult. And so if you can find a collection of nonprofits that are doing things that you want to support, or if you even just one, or if they're not doing what you want, find somebody that's doing something close and see if they will fund the project for you so you don't have to come up with your own project. I think that would be the best thing. Leah, you got 10,000 props. You beat Kevin actually in the props department this afternoon, because your idea of actually having a button or a URL that can direct people where you don't have to necessarily even sell it, in the blab. It'll just be from across the bottom or something. For me, I think that's really powerful, coming onto any blab. And if you want to donate to the Rushmiller Foundation, boom, here's a very easy way to do that. I
tell them before you even touch the blab, have it up there.
So what is the Rushmiller Foundation?
So we are very small. My son lost his vision to brain cancer 15 years ago. And we donate tandem bicycles, 2-seater bikes, to blind and low vision kids all over the world, primarily in the U.S. We helped about 2,300 blind, visually impaired kids ride a bike for the first time. And so that's all we do. We're very small niche, very tiny niche. We have a very small budget, but we've had a pretty good impact. And I, when I first came in, I was listening, and you were talking about almost like scaling, Leah, and I forget the other gal's name. Why not be bigger than what you're doing? We, on the other hand, did not want to scale. We had the national, hey, Chocolate Johnny, this guy, if you guys aren't following him on like every social media, I'm sorry you need to follow this guy. He is like the nicest guy, and he's the Willy Wonka of Australia, and he's fantastic. And get on his Periscope. I'm sorry for the tangent. But the thing with us, I had the National Federation of the Blind, the American Federation of the Blind, all these large organizations that loved what we do, who wanted to promote me. And I said, don't promote me. You'll kill us. And I think everything that they're saying is so wise. In today's world, why would you want to do anything that's going to cost capital or a lot of capital? I mean, you can kill yourself before you even get started. And so with the social medium, you've got Blab. My gosh, Kevin and I were talking earlier today how Blab is in that curve, and it's what curve is it called? The Giltner curve or something, and where it's trending down a little bit, but when it takes off the next time, if you've got a presence, you're going to be one of the big impactors on Blab. Even Periscope, all of these. Leah's right. And just now, the 3 people that you had in the Blab, these are all power players. Kevin is very modest in what he's done. He and I have had private blabs where I know what Kevin's done. I listen to this guy with a very fine-tooth comb, because he's always got some great wisdom, but he's run very large organizations. And I'm fascinated with the people on Blab. Chocolate Johnny, again, Linda up above. You don't know who's watching up there, who's all of a sudden following you. And I can tell you, the people that are on Blab that are oftentimes in the background, very powerful. I've been contacted by some people that, honestly, God, I don't know how I'd ever have gotten in contact with them. I'm a nurse in Pueblo, Colorado. I shouldn't be talking to the head of the American Federation or American Film Institute. I shouldn't be talking to some of these people. And so you have got an opportunity with these different social mediums to really make an impact for the organizations that you're excited about or that you want to start. But before you start something, oh my God, give it a lot of thought, because it's a heartache. Nonprofit is nothing but beating your head against the wall. Remember, no good deed goes unpunished. And sometimes it's a heartbreaker. But if you develop a community, oh my God, you can have a bigger impact than you may you may have if you started a magazine, because you could drain all your funds and have something at the end of the day that doesn't take off. But you could have a much bigger impact. Holy smokes. And I love this, Leah, this button idea, this donate button.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
No, it's good.
So anyway, that's it. I will now shut up. I'm sorry, Chocolate. I'm shutting up.
Oh, before you go, you didn't. I thought you were going to jump off there, Eric, but you didn't. You didn't mention crowdfunding, did you?
Oh no! Now crowdfunding, and can you tell me what your project is, real quick, like a quick synopsis, so that I make sure I'm even addressing the point of the whole blab. I came in here and blabbed all over, and I'm not even sure I addressed anything.
Quick rundown. I brought a group of people together who are in business, are doing their projects themselves, and basically to do. I thought bringing. I know them all, but they didn't know each other apart from through me. So basically, it's to help working as a team to help each other on the projects we're doing. Now, I've got a cancer project as one of them. There's an animal charity which is to vaccinate animals in Tanzania against rabies. There's one called Reach Out Fathers, which is for fathers who don't get to see their kids. And that's the three main parts of the charity. And there's another project is creating an event for the Edinburgh Festival next year called Awake Africa Scotland the Musical. It's not a charity, it's just doing an event. Which would be but auditioning Africans already in Scotland or the UK. So it makes sense cost-wise of bringing them over. So that's the plan. So that's the kind of what we're doing, but developing, and we'll develop other things as well in time.
So are they already existing? Do each one of these entities have their own nonprofit status already?
One is already existing. It's what the other two are sort of there. Well, the cancer one I've just started. We've got T-shirts designed and things. We're going to start. We just got to we've got to decide what we're going to register as, whether for the whole thing. But I thought it'd be easier to create an umbrella group, and whether we do a business and we just raise money, build up money, and we just donate part of profits to these things and develop them through awareness, or it's depending which road we go down. That's the main thing.
Is there a niche in the cancer community that you're looking at?
Yeah. I think there's. There's the main sort of bigger players in the UK is there's cancer research. There's Marie Curie, and there's also Macmillan. They tend to be sort of the bigger players within the UK. But want to do more local, and there's a local hospice which is called St Columba's Hospice in Edinburgh. I'd like to more help support a local charity, and keeping things local tends to be better. But it's not saying that with the cancer thing, we're not just going to stick with local. That can be all over the UK, and people could use that brand. It's creating a brand, so people can buy T-shirts, and building that brand. People can do sponsored runs or walks or whatever, or coffee mornings, etc. But they in their own area, but maybe in times branch out to support their own local hospice, for example, etc. As you get like what you guys are doing, you know what I mean?
So there's some organizations here in the U.S. And I can't think of their names offhand. And what they do is whatever sporting event you want to do, you can use their platform to raise funds for the nonprofits of your choice. I'm just wondering, it would be difficult, and cancer is a big niche. You know, my son had brain cancer, so we're obviously into pediatric cancers, and we talk on clinical trials. But I have friends that had prostate cancer, or you've got the Susan G. Komen with breast cancer, and everybody, even in the cancer industry. And Kevin was right. Just because you go nonprofit doesn't mean that you're not there with a profit motive. You still have to have a functioning business model that allows you to continue. So he was mentioning the crowdfunding. My foundation, I had this idea for a cartoon 22 years ago. And so we're crowdsourcing a cartoon. Actually, I think we've talked about this at one point, where that's going to be our social entrepreneurial endeavor. And we've put together a world-class team, And we have got a lot of traction with it, that if it would take off, then it can fund my foundation and I don't have to have my hand out all the time. I'm fortunate that we don't have any paid employees. I don't take anything off the foundation. So we have our operating margin is money comes in and it goes out for a bike, versus if you have to pay somebody, if you have to have overhead for a magazine. Nonprofit's a weird world. I think it would be tricky with 3 different nonprofits with such different niches. How do you engage the people to want to donate? So somebody that wants to donate to rabies in Tanzania, how do they want to donate to cancer if they're not touched by cancer versus, and I'm sorry, what was the other one?
Reach out fathers for fathers who don't get to see their kids.
Right. And so all of those are going to be different. Those may be different targets on how you reach people that are going to be moved enough to give up their hard-earned money to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just trying to think how you do that. In the nonprofit world, I know I've sat in a lot of meetings, and I'm sorry to talk over everybody, but I've sat in meetings where everybody, especially when you're in a certain niche, they'll all talk about what their organization does. You go around, they talk in their niche, and me as I've got another degree in business. I've always been an entrepreneur, and I look at them and I think, you're doing the same thing as him and them. But in private sector, you have a natural consolidation of business. Somebody buys them out and they become bigger, but you don't have that in nonprofit world. And
okay, Leah, you take it easy. Thanks for the contribution. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, Leah, you have 10,000 props from me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to cross your path. I don't think I've ever heard you speak or came across.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much.
I
didn't mean to do that, but this is really an interesting subject to me. So
I've been on in this room for an hour, so I mean, someone else needs to give him some.
Good Chocolate Johnny in here. That guy's he makes me feel good about just breathing air. I mean, this guy is like this energy. You might jump off, but you might want to stick around and see Chocolate Johnny, because he'll make you like, oh my God, the air is a little crisper now. The sky's a little bluer. I mean, the guy is a living Willy Wonka. He's just like this motivational.
Oh, Leah, appreciate your input, Leah. Thank you.
Anytime, and anything I could do to help out. I'm really, I really feel your heart, and I think it's a great thing to do, and I would like to help in any way that I can. And Johnny, I will be back probably before you're off to see how great and grand you are. Okay, I just got to go support this one guy I told I would check out his interview.
You take it easy, okay?
And I don't want to discourage you at all. Well, the great thing about this is kind of sharpening.
One of the angles for the cancer thing, I was thinking of doing is teaming up with people. There's beauticians who do makeovers and to offer women who've had chemotherapy makeovers. Basically, that's the plan. So that was the kind of idea. So of one of the
and
angles.
I love that idea. You got to be innovative, because everybody does a 5K run. Here, they all do golf tournaments. And I think the people that are going to win in the nonprofit sector in the coming next 5 to 10 years are the ones that come up with an innovative idea or innovative event. They do a head shaving here, St. Baldrick's Day, for pediatric cancer. And I think that what you just mentioned with the makeup and stuff would be a great one. Chocolate Johnny, you need to get in that seat.
Anyone wants to pop in, please give good input or see how we're going. There's Mr. Chocolate Johnny.
And fundraising's been
there. He is. I love this guy.
Okay,
how are you, man? I just coming to say hello, because my hero there, Eric, is there. So
I'm hugging Chocolate Johnny. I love this guy.
Is that chocolate? Are you in the chocolate factory, Johnny? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, mate. I'll just give you a quick. You can have a quick look at what we're doing. Hang on a tick. I just want to say a quick hello anyway, because I got so much props for that guy there in that corner. So we're in the chocolate factory at the moment. So that's one of our chocolate machines there. That's 100 kilos or 200 pounds. That's the white chocolate. There's the dark chocolate. That's one of our girls there who's making handmade products. One of the other girls. So, yeah, you're in better than Willy Wonka's. That's one of my girls there.
Try not lose you.
He never lets you in the Loompa Loompa room.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh yeah, the Oompa Loompas are in here. You see where it says pool? See, if we open it, don't worry about him. Okay, relax, boys. It's okay. So, yeah. Anyway, Kevin, nice to meet you. Sorry,
yeah, nice to meet you, John.
Oh my God, my glasses.
Yeah.
How's it going, mate? Not too shabby out here, but yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for Eric. I met Eric on Periscope, on Blab, and we had an amazing conversation, and just followed him on Periscope, and that's the power of social media.
Yeah.
You and Blab is just absolutely awesome. And
Yeah.
I watched this guy. He, I know he plays it down, but he is just, I believe, a true superhero in this community. I've got a lot of time for him. I love watching him take off and land his helicopter. I feel like, mate, Eric, and from the bottom of my heart, mate, I appreciate what you do, and thank you for always giving me the support and the love, mate. I truly, I'm honoured to get to know you, and one day you're on my list.
Hey, I hear you're coming. You're coming to the U.S., so we'll have to get together.
Yeah,
but real quick, you can speak to the point that Leah was making, and Johnny is a perfect example of social media and the power and the impact of these free mediums, and has built this powerful reach. When he comes on my Periscope and he tweets, invites people to come to the Periscope, it is amazing. It starts rolling of people that all of a sudden are on my scope. I would say probably 75% of my Periscope now people are from Australia, and it's because of Johnny and some other people from around the world. And that's what Leah was trying to say, is use the free mediums. And then you build this crowd, and then you go to an advertiser. You want to do a magazine, and you can bring them 10,000 people that are going to be interested in their advertisers. Or the advertisers are interested, you can do a magazine pretty easily, and you've got a winner who's willing to coach you in that. But use all the powerful people that are here on the social media to do that.
So Johnny,
I'm glad Eric said that, because
So what are you saying, Kev?
I'm wondering where Johnny is in Australia.
Well, part of Australia.
I'm in Sydney. I'm in Rose Bay. I'll tell you. I'm glad Eric said that, because this has been my policy on social media from day one, and I consider myself an early adopter. I'm on every platform, and I know people say don't, but I'm on every. I've been doing Snapchat, I Instagram, I Periscope. I've already tested live stream on Facebook, but not on my actual Facebook. I've downloaded the app. I've done, what's the other one? Fire Talk. I've just on all of them just to try them out. But in all that, what I have learned is three things. You build a relationship, to build trust, to build my business. And that's the order. I was on Periscope for months. No one knew what I did. I never told anyone. Everyone asked me. Everyone said to me, what do you do? And as soon as I said, I'm a chocolatier, I'm a third generation chocolatier in Rose Bay, Sydney, Australia, everyone's like, It's the same as Eric. What do you do? I'm an EMT nurse. I fly a helicopter, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. It's all of a sudden my business has gone global in months. And it is such a power. If you use it correctly, if you build that trust,
they
will come flocking in.
And that's a really good point. Because you never really, you show us the chocolate shop because I think it's fascinating, but you never talk about it. And the one thing you're always talking about, I come away from your Periscope and anything, and I never catch you live, but I now have figured out, they taught me how to get the notification. So it's by my head in the bed. So if you go live in the middle of the night, I'm getting up, but, you're always edifying people, always building everybody else up, and you're always making people feel better in a dark world with a lot of problems. Everybody's got problems, but you kind of lift those, but you never talk about, hey, come over to my site and buy my candy. And the other thing is I met a guy that's got a coffee business up in West Yellowstone, and same thing. He said that his business has exploded. But again, I didn't know he was the only reason I knew he was in the coffee business is I went to his profile. And we had an offline chat about that because I love coffee. And I worked in Yellowstone, so we had some common things. But what they said is true. And within, but give it 6 to 9 months. What is that? Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V. If you don't follow him, he's also got a powerful presence. You'll probably never talk to him, but he'll say the same thing. Give it 6, 9, 10, 12 months, and then you'll be surprised at what kind of impact you're having and don't even realize it.
It's also about being one other thing, and I hashtag this all the time. Hashtag raw and real. The fakers on live streaming, gone. They'll come on. I've seen these guys come on I was on Periscope literally 3 days at launch. I've seen these guys come on, blah, 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 yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is awesome. Then once you dive deep into them, once you see them, you're literally looking at them eye to eye. You see what they're doing. You see what they're saying. You know they're not going to last. They're fakers, mate. Gone. See you later. All the bullshit's gone. And I love that. Love that about this live streaming. All these guys, I've seen guys, influential guys that I've looked up to and thought, oh my God, you are awesome. They get on Periscope and it's like, what? And then we're talking a month later, oh, Dave, oh, what's that comment? And then they don't bother reading the comments. And then they have the audacity at their next Periscope to say, oh, I'm just going to wait here till someone else comes on. Hang on a moment. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm here. I don't care if it's one person.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Your blue sticker that you talked about, that blue sticker.
Blue.
Blue. He was talking on with Periscope, the number of people following you or whatever is down in the corner. He says, put the blue sticker on there. It doesn't matter. And here, just put the blue sticker across the top. Doesn't matter how many people are up there. You only
need one person to change your life. That one person. That's it.
Cool.
And that's Chocolate
All right,
Johnny.
guys.
Love you, buddy.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna blab out. Really pleasure meeting you, Eric. You are a legend, mate. I can't wait to actually meet you, boys. Thank you so much. I'm following you all now. Let me just check. Yes, I am following Kevin, and I am following Patrick and Ramsey. Oh man, look at that from Edinburgh. I love it. All right, Chocolate Johnny's periscoping. Oh my God, I'm so used to saying periscoping. Chocolate Johnny's blabbing out. See you, boys.
Well, I appreciate the advice, Eric. Thanks for that. No, it's good to help a bit of advice. I'm going to show this kind of video blab to the rest of the people in my group, the business guys, and take it from there. So it gives us a bit of food for thought.
Are you on Periscope?
I am. I've not used it in a while, but I need to start using it again. I kind of wasn't successful in Periscope, but I was more successful in this. This tends to work for me better.
Yeah, I'd never used Periscope till I met Chocolate Johnny, and then I started periscoping from the helicopter, and apparently people like that. So then, but
there's definitely a huge opportunity, isn't there? If you can harness the opportunity, put the effort in a sincere way, then there's rewards there in terms of having an impact.
Cool.
Yeah, and you don't need to be global to have an impact. I think even if, that's.
Hi, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, feel free and jump in. We were
talking about this earlier. I think you were around, Eric, but the push, the opportunities at a local level are amazing because we're reaching a technology where we can bring in, thousands of eyes and ears at a local level. Populations are big groups of people. If you have a topic that's of interest, I was talking to somebody the other day who's got a podcast. Where is it? One of the English towns. He'll never run out of audience. He's got really, really popular podcasts, but he's got a couple 100,000 people live within 10 miles of the little pin in the map, He's got huge potential for bringing businesses in.
Jacqueline, who's just popped in, we were sort of talking about social media and stuff. And so on the topic of maybe what I was doing when I started the blab, you're welcome to pop in. We're just generally talking about we're sort of gone off a little bit, but we're still talking about social media and how it affects us. So you're welcome to jump in if you want, Jacqueline, and chat away and give us your input.
Yeah, hi, Jacqueline. I just noticed you there.
Jacqueline's only been on Blab a few long, actually. She's
Douglas may be interesting too as a writer, how he gets his word out with his books.
this is the kind of, well, the aim is obviously I'm looking. It's just that I'm trying to just get a bit more direction or ideas so we can, when I come to meet my business meeting with the group of people that I set up, is it gives us more focus to which direction to go.
Fraser, what about your podcast? I don't mean the current podcast, maybe doing another one or helping one of your colleagues start one, but there was a discussion about a podcast the other day. I'm talking about, Dave Jackson?
No, I don't know.
Well, it's this funny story, but he's my guru, if you like. And I was on a blab, and the topic was, do you respect, experts, and is there anybody that you value their opinion? And I was just getting the words out of my mouth, and he popped up in the blab. It was an unbelievable coincidence. But anyway, he was talking the other day about these podcasters who start out with no expertise, and within a number of episodes, they're perceived by their listeners as experts. But other people have come in. Somebody who wanted to write a book, and she'd never done it. She'd never published her own book before. She thought the best way to learn was to go off and speak to people that had done it. And she created a podcast. So the podcast was all about interviewing people in the trade, if you like, in the industry, the talents, the creative types, the publishers, the people on platforms, And by the end of it, she published her book because she was an expert, because she learned as she went along. But everybody who she came in touch with, by the time she was into episode whatever, she was perceived as an expert in a topic she was a total novice in months before.
Wow, okay. That's good. Yeah, dear. So I've just got so much to kind of. I want this. I think I want this to succeed. So obviously, to succeed, I want to make sure it's done right. That's the main thing.
Well, you're going to get some wisdom now. Look,
you're going to get the wisdom from Pharaoh Eric.
No, this is just for Chocolate Johnny. He didn't get to see the Pharaoh blab that I did. Leanne was very fond of the thing. That's it. I'll go. The Pharaoh's leaving.
some costume. But yeah, no. So what? So how long have you been running your foundation, Eric?
14 years.
Wow, that's a long time now. Crumbs.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is if we're doing something great, if we're not doing something great, I don't have. When you don't have to have overhead, and that's why, like, the magazine and anything that has to take capital, I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with it. But I've got other jobs and other interests. So it's very easy for us to have longevity, because if we've got money, we give away bikes. If we don't have money, we either go raise it, or we just sit until we have money again. So it's very easy. It's different for me.
Because partly the reason why I wanted to do is I wanted to do something towards cancer, because I lost my mother to cancer, and that's my connection. So obviously, what my main project that I wanted to do, which I still want to do, which I hopefully we'll be able to resurrect that in time further down the line, is it's called Can You Be Scotland's Next Pop Star, and a way of doing a sort of X Factor style or Pop Idol style competition, but the proceeds go to raising money for cancer or something. So, but still.
The problem with doing anything, even when it's for philanthropy, Kevin and I were talking earlier. So our cartoon that we're going to crowdfund, we'll have probably somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000 before we even get started to the crowdfunding. And so when you do an event, again, those events, I'm going to try to look up some of these different organizations that allow you to fundraise for an event. So you don't have to set up the event. You just do an event, and you bring a crowd to that event and fundraise for whatever your nonprofit is. I'm surfing right now.
The sector as well in the UK, Fraser, has been largely professionalised, which you could argue is a good thing. But it means that professional fundraisers who are on paid salaries are the ones who are organising all these sponsored treks and climbs and everything else. And the money involved, you'll come to me or I'll come to you and say, do you want to walk the Great Wall of China and raise money for charity? And you say, well, that's a great idea. So we turn around and say to you, well, you're going to have to pay us £2,000 because that's what it's going to cost us to send you there. So you're going to have to raise about £4,000 to make it worth your while.
Okay.
So you go and raise £3,000. You go and walk the Great Wall of China. I'm sitting there as trying to be an impartial observer. I'm thinking, why are we putting £2,000 out of every £3,000 into sending people to China to do something they really want to do when we could have spent the £3,000 on bicycles for Eric's charity or cutting grass for old people or something? Why aren't we being much more efficient?
Yeah.
When you look at professional fundraising, they will do anything as long as it turns a margin on their investment. So if you look at what we call the chuggers, the people who are wandering around the high streets who are trying to sign you up to pay a monthly amount to one of the national charities. Now, those individuals tend to be students. They're paid minimum wage or slightly more.
Yeah.
They're completely provided by a private company who's on a profit basis working with a national charity.
Yeah.
A model which is, for every £10 in year one that this person signs up for, we'll take 75, but in year two you'll get 100%. The attrition rates of these sign-ups are 70% as well. So charity sits down and does a calculation. If they spend £1 million on chuggers over a 5-year period, they'll get 3 million back. And what frustrates the hell out of me is that 99% of people in Edinburgh are crossing the road to avoid these people. They're turning charities off to people who would have donated. They're selling, plan to people who can't afford it because they're incentivized to get the signature. And it's a private company who's making a profit in year one, which is where most of the money exchanges hands. It's only a small few who then go on to keep the direct debit going. So, but that's the type of people you're up against. You're up against, if you offer anybody the chance to do something charitable, they're spoilt for choice. They can go and climb Kilimanjaro. They can cycle John O'Groats to Land's End, and the charity will lay on meals at every stop. They'll lay on ways to raise funds. They'll give you badges, T-shirts.
Yeah.
The whole thing's at a level where the nationals are all doing really amazing things for volunteers to help them deliver on their fundraising venture. But it all costs money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've all kind of been a downer.
No,
and I don't want to be a downer at all because anybody that's got a heart for philanthropy
it's all been
think
constructive criticism. It's all been good. It's all been good. In business, you've got to have constructive criticism or constructive feedback to go forward to develop on the right track. Because if you don't get that, you'll never succeed. You've got to take the criticism. You've got to learn, because criticism is not there to hurt you. It's there to make you better. And I think it's good to listen to people and get the feedback so we know when you fine-tune something, you go down the right track, not the wrong track,
You definitely don't want to be putting money at risk, though.
I think if you wanted to do a blab for, and you could affect charities around the world on just have people like myself come in and go, okay, here's what we want to fundraise, and just having brainstorming sessions on innovative ways, not just grants, not just a 5K run, innovative ways. Hey, what could we do that would be interesting to raise some money? How could we do that? Bringing people, I did some work with some pharmaceutical companies, and it's interesting now. They put these 3D glasses in. They go into the cell, and they have pharmacologists, they have structural engineers, they have chemists, they have doctors. They have all these different specialties that come in now to develop these medications, because a structural engineer will look at the bonds and go, okay, well, structurally, if you take that bond away right there, the whole thing collapses. And something that everybody else would never have thought of it from that perspective. Whereas the chemist is going to have a different idea. And I think a blab about innovative different ways for nonprofits to raise money, and a consistent blab that on how can we, in a time of limited funding, how can we find different either events or ways to partner, kind of like you're talking about, and maybe just like, and maybe I was thinking too small before, maybe there is a connection between cancer dads and animals in Tanzania. I don't know what it is, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something. Or how would you bring that together? But I think a blab addressing that would be really interesting.
Okay.
Well, definitely worth thinking about and deciding who's going to set up and run it. Yeah.
Well, one thing is the Wake Africa Scotland, the musical, the event for the festival, the storyline which was chosen is actually about it's domestic abuse against African women who've also had suffered from HIV and cancer as well. So it's portraying that and what they've gone through. That's what the play is going to, the musicals are going to be about. So by organising that and getting ticket sales for people to come and see the show, that we can also put part of the supported by Let's Beat Cancer Together. Also, we can use the animal charity as well to creating awareness for these other projects. Some money from the show can go towards these, other projects as well, which can be a good thing,
I mean, one of the things I think would be interesting is the reason that people raise money primarily is because it used to be and probably still is the most efficient way to move expertise or capacity or resources around is give it a monetary value and swap it or give it to people, exchange it. So if you were trying to organise a trip to India to do something, then you'd work out the cost of your flights and the cost of your accommodation and various other things, supply lines and all this sort of stuff. But if you then look at and that was because the world was really complicated, it was the best way to do it was to get money and then spend it on the things you need. But if you look at the way social media is going, you could sit down and say, look, I want to build a centre of excellence for epilepsy or something. You could probably, through social media in the years to come, go out and say, right, this person, here's 15 electricians, there's 14 plumbers, there's, a dozen bricklayers, there's the guy who's going to supply the bricks. They could offer their skills in kind rather than the money. And if you go over to India, wherever, you might find an airline that would send you over for free, then you find accommodation for free, all on the internet because of connections. You're talking about pooling resources. If you get 4 people in a blab and they all sit down and scratch their head as to what they've got by way of expertise and or capacity to offer.
Yeah.
I'm on a website. I don't really use it now, but it's called Horizons Unlimited. I might have mentioned it to you, Eric, and it's world solo motorcycle travellers around the globe. There's thousands of them in terms of the population of the world. And they all went on there to exchange ideas and information. Now they all collaborate. So instead of me bringing a bike over to Australia to motorcycle around Australia, somebody in Australia who's in this group will buy the motorcycle for me. So it's ready for me when I arrive. It's cheaper to buy the bike over there than try and import a bike in. They'll put me up in their house. They'll show me the first 200 miles. They'll pass me on to somebody else if I need somebody else. And while I'm doing that, somebody from America who's motorcycling around Scotland is living in my flat for 2 weeks because we're pals on this platform as well. So they all exchange resource so that they can all take away some of the cost of what they do internationally.
It's like couch surfing. I've got a guy that's a couch surfer with me right now. Or, there's a lot of these crowdsourcing, peer-to-peer sharing.
Yeah, so it's almost like getting back to the idea of, if not barter, but getting back to exchanging things. And years ago when I lived in the Highlands, I would catch the salmon, and a friend of mine would grow the vegetables, and a farmer who was related in terms of his land to the States would get deer, and I would swap a salmon for a bit of venison or some potatoes and carrots and stuff. And it was great. It wasn't the only way we lived, but it was a big part of the fun of exchanging stuff that we'd in excess of. So I'm sure maybe that's ways that you could develop things as part of a brainstorming about how not-for-profit might move forward.
Good old days.
Yeah, what we really need is somebody who's got the chocolate so we can complete the chain, because everything ends at chocolate, does it not, in terms of value?
But no, it's I'm just certainly I got a lot of food for thought from a lot of. It's been a good topic actually. Actually, a good sort of starter for 10, if you know what I mean. So it's been great. So I certainly hopefully I'll have to keep you all posted on.
And then when you switch off that recording,
please do.
We can tell you what we really think.
Okay. Thanks. No, it should be good. I'm going to stop recording actually because I think we've advised out, but it's been great. I'm just going to I'm going to this.